Hey everyone, Charting Man Dan from ChartGuys.com. You know, behind every single video that we put out every single day, there's a wonderful community of traders that we want to invite you to be a part of. Try the free 7-day trial and gain access to our live market broadcasts every morning and afternoon, interact with hundreds of like-minded traders, or take part in one of our dedicated chat rooms, each led by an analyst that's there to answer your questions in real time. Our trial is risk-free with absolutely no commitment or credit card required to experience the TCG community. For those looking for a head start in technical analysis, check out our entries and exits course in the link below in the description. Get up to speed with the fundamentals of TCG technical analysis and experience over 5 hours of great community-driven trading education. Looking at CMG VRX Twitter and GoPro on the daily and weekly time frame. So the CMG bulls came out today and saw some follow through, and there was a big volume spike and some unusual trading activity. It looked news related. We couldn't find any news on it. It wasn't the slow and steady appreciation of the stock price like we see when that big money was buying back here on the way up in March, but it was notable and it closed very strong. So what we're looking at here is a potential bull break of this pattern. If we can see a break over 490.67, that breaks this lower high pattern and it puts the bulls in the driver's seat, heading back up to recent highs of 497.48. But the upper Bollinger Band resistance is going to be right there as well, almost guarding that resistance level of 490.67. So if we cannot break that level, we will stay in this tightening pattern into next week, but we're certainly much closer to a bull break than a bear break now. We were close to a bear break. The bulls held support. Now we're heading up to resistance. Let's see if the bulls have the momentum to follow through. That unusual volume, we'll be keeping an eye out for it again today, and you can see the bull volume pretty solid the past 2 days. Nothing special, but definitely enough to move the price. Weekly time frame shows the multiple inside bars in a row on the weekly time frame, and the 100-week moving average resistance is going to be key as well. That's at 493.69. So it's not going to be a walk in the park for the bulls if we do get a bull break of this pattern, but we will be looking at continuation to the upside as this sideways consolidation following the bull break back in March and April, certainly very beneficial for those bulls. So VRX here, nice follow through. Back test just bouncing above the upper Bollinger Band. Didn't even have to touch that level, and we did close just below the 100-day moving average of 1272, but the bulls are nice and pleased that they did get that follow-through to the upside. The weekly time frame is right at the middle Bollinger Band, 1263. Bulls need to close over that level on the weekly as step number 1 for trying to reverse this trend. That's just step number 1. There's a long way to go here. So bulls have control on the daily. Nice, strong continuation. If we lose the upper Bollinger Band on the daily, it will be a caution and a red flag to the short-term bulls that we are likely to see some consolidation. And we'll be watching if the bulls can close over this weekly middle Bollinger Band. Checking in on Twitter on the daily time frame. Bull flag looking good here still. Our low of support is now 18.16. That's the level that the bulls want to hold in the short term. We had a bull break of the inside bar on the daily time frame right at the end of the day there. Not a ton of follow through. Strong close though. Low volume. Bulls want to see an uptick in volume, more than 10 million shares traded tomorrow, and some bullish follow through. We're looking at resistance of 18.68, and then we're looking up at 18.73 after that. So the bulls have some nice consolidation, very healthy, and looking for continuation here. You can see on the weekly time frame, they are buying this dip and remaining in full control at this point. GoPro on the daily, a decent bull move attempt here, I should say. We did break this level of 857, but there's a bit of an upper wick of profit taking. Now the middle Bollinger Band is the key factor. That's slowly descending to the downside. It's going to be in the mid 860s tomorrow. It rejected the last bounce attempt. If the bulls can get over this middle Bollinger Band resistance, we will be looking at this potential turnaround a bit more seriously. I need to see a close over that middle Bollinger Band to believe that the bulls have some short-term strength. Otherwise, we're looking down here at 828 support. So a little uptick in bull volume, a decent day for those bulls, and now the middle Bollinger Band is in the spotlight. On the weekly time frame, inside bar likely to remain the rest of this week. We'll have to see whether or not the bulls can break that next week on this tightening range, and the middle Bollinger Band on the weekly will always be a factor as well after 3 rejections in the past 5 weeks. So that's what we're looking at heading into tomorrow. I'm most interested in CMG to see whether or not the bulls are going to be able to break that pattern that we've been watching for the past 2 weeks continue to play out, and look for some potential further upside if that is the case, and that upper Bollinger Band will be a major factor. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.